Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, DJ Paul. This is the man that makes the people move. Like, ain't nothing happening at no party without the DJ, and this is one of the best in the game.
There you go. What's happening, Willie?
Hey, man, let's get right to it. Are you still getting only 3 hours of sleep?
Nah, I get more than 3 hours of sleep now, man. Thank God, man. You know, and I figured it out. How to, because I don't like to take pills and shit like that. I don't take pills. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't even take prescription pills. I don't take vitamins. I don't take none of that shit. My doctor told me the less powders you can put in your body, the better. Right. So I always try to find natural things for everything. And I found a natural melatonin, and it's called tart cherry juice. Tart cherry juice. You drink that before bed. I drink about a cup about the size of that candle right there, about like that. You drink that, man, within 20 minutes, you're going to be yawning. And about 40 minutes, you're going to be knocked out. Right. So now I get like 6, 7, 8.
Is it natural?
Yeah, it's natural. 100%. The bottle the company that I get it from, 100% cherry juice. Mm. Yeah. It works.
That sounds like something that could be marketed, man, and you could like come up off of.
Yeah, I mean,
because like
more people should know about it.
Deprivation is a big deal.
Yeah, it is, man. It used to be so hard for me to sleep sometimes. It would piss me off. I'd be like, God, I can't sleep for shit, tossing and turning, this and that. And then I found out about that, and then I also had a nutritionist, and because I wanted to, gain weight, and I work out a lot. I work out 4 times a week. Mixed martial arts, and then 2 days of mixed martial arts, 2 days of physical training. And my nutritionist told me this. He was like, if you eat sorbet 45 minutes before bed, that help you sleep. And that one I didn't realize, I didn't get at first. I was like, really? Because I was like, the sugar gonna like lift you up. He said, yeah, it's gonna lift you up for a minute, then it's gonna drop you. So you're like 45 minutes before bed, eat you some sorbet, mm-hmm. and it works. That works too.
Interesting. Now, what was the root cause of you not being able to get any sleep?
Man, it's just being an artist.
What's going through your mind? What you thinking about?
Man, beats.
Beats.
Not just that though, because I do a lot of things. Like I own a bunch of properties. I do a lot of real estate. And I own a restaurant. We do the clothes, the design. I hypnotize minds, 3-6 Mafia merch, all that shit. I produce artists, I manage artists. So my mind is always somewhere. It's thinking about something, a new way to make money or something. A lady told me a long time ago that you're supposed to have it's like a saying somewhere that you should always have 7 forms of income. Mm-hmm. Now I think I'm probably up to 700 forms.
Right.
But yeah, so my mind is always thinking of how to improve each and every one of them.
I was reading some of your Wikipedia, man, and it's dizzying the amount of things and ventures that you have your hand in.
Yeah.
Do you ever forget that you started a company? Like, you ever forget?
Man, now I'll tell you one thing that I did do. I almost forgot how many homes I owned. I had to go back and look at the list. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, it's a lot, man. I just try to do a whole lot, because you know how it is. Like, you're an OG. I've been listening to you since the 80s. And you know how it is. Like, we can't be doing this shit forever. They ain't gonna want to listen to us forever. We'll have our loyal fans that listen to us forever, but will that really pay the bills?
Right.
So you just got to be smart with your money and just keep investing it. Flipping it, turning it into something else.
Yeah, there was a point in my career where I thought like once I got in, as long as I was dedicated and talented and continued to work, that the money was going to always be there. And
talent is the last thing that works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I know things happen. Label can go into reconstruction if you're in a group. You may have uncooperating members or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a number of things that can happen. Maybe you have a personal issue in your life or whatever.
Yeah.
But it made me realize that, yeah, I better diversify.
You got to.
Because I cannot count on this. And this is the trip part about it, is that this is something that you love to do. You know you can do it better than most people, but still, it just ain't like playing sports, right? It's not like basketball, football. As long as you can run that ball, you're going to get a contract.
Yeah.
As long as you can catch that ball, as long as you can put up 30 points, you put up 20 points, you're going to get a contract. You can put up, if you can you can give a team on any given night 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
You're going to make millions and millions of dollars. It's just simple as numbers. But with art, it's different.
Yeah, it is. Especially with music, because music can be controlled by something as small as the young kids don't like this sound no more. Mm-hmm. Or they don't like this style of clothes no more. Or this or that. There's a bunch of rules in hip-hop music. I say hip-hop music. I ain't going to say that in no other music. Because, like, it ain't like that in country or, EDM or pop or something. You know what I'm saying? But with hip-hop music, you know what I'm saying? Like, hip-hop music, they can stop listening to you just because you over 28 years old or something. You never know with these little motherfuckers.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, you can have like a group like, what's my boy name? Daft Punk. I think they like creeping up to 60 or something. They definitely in their 50s.
Rolling Stones, who are in their 70s.
Yeah.
Still touring and selling out.
Yeah. But the reason why I use Daft Punk as an example, because, they wear the mask, and nobody know how they look. They still make new music.
Okay.
They still make new hits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, all of us can tour for the rest of our life off these old songs, but still being able to put out new music is a different thing. And I still put out new music that people like. Matter of fact, my Spotify monthly listeners went up, in the last few years. I only had like 140,000 monthly listeners probably like 3 years ago, a year and a half ago, I think it was. Yeah, like year and a half. And probably like 2 years. And now, I float around 3 million monthly listeners. So, so my mind, that's the reason why I can't sleep, because it's always trying to think of a way to improve everything that I do.
Yeah. And where did that come from? Like, where did that start? Like, it was
from my dad.
Your dad. And what did your dad do for a living?
He owned a pest control company. He originally worked for Terminex.
So you were raised by a boss?
Yeah. He originally worked for Terminex, and he studied they plan and they whole MO.
System, yeah.
And he opened up his own company.
Right. And when they snatched their clients and everything.
Probably did.
Yeah. I mean that's the move.
Yeah.
If you
They probably came in and did it way cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, if you work for a company, I don't understand how somebody could work for a company 30 years or 40 years and get them all of that time and all that money. And instead of like going in there, learning what that company does and then competing with them. Like basically compete against them.
Yeah.
Or maybe become like, what do they call those, a contractor with that company or whatever, where you provide certain goods and services to that company.
Well, it's funny you brought that up. So the lady that told me about the 7 forms of income, she was an older black lady. I was sitting at a restaurant in Nashville, and I was just eating, and she walked over to me and my brother, and she was like, I'm getting my husband a laptop for his birthday, which y'all happen to know a good kind. I told her about the kind I like and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And we started talking and this and that, and she told us about the 7 forms of income, and she said, I did this. She said, man, my husband had a company where we supplied drink machines for a big office building. And she said, one day I asked him, I was like, who do your janitor work? She said, I got that position. She said, who do the landscaping? She said, then we got that job. Mm-hmm. So she done knocked out 3 just in that one house. 3 different jobs just in that one house. She probably do more than that by now.
Right.
And that was half of the 7 almost that 7 forms of income that she want to have in her life. She knocked out 3 of them just asking that building that she was working with. So kind of like what you were just saying. Yeah,
that's how I got my landscaper. His wife was my house cleaner. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, my husband does landscaping. And then once he came over and he started telling me about his friend that does towel work. Because he saw that I was looking at some towel. He saw some towel samples on my countertop.
Yeah.
And it's just keep it
Then
moving.
his friend probably threw him a few bucks for helping him out.
Yeah.
Getting him the job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it's about, man. So, but now I sleep good.
Yeah.
Go to bed early sometimes. I used to go to sleep like 5 in the morning. Now I try to get into bed like 10. But I fucking sit up and watch crime shows till like 1. Or watch YouTube tutorials.
You know what's interesting about you, well, many things, but one of the things that's interesting about you is that in person you have a very laid back disposition, but you stay in motion, and you inject yourself in like high performance type situations.
Yeah.
Like when you're on that stage, even the music that you make.
Yeah.
The music that you make is like counter to who you are as a person, the way the way you move, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you laid back, you kick it, you in the cut. But that music is like, in your face, da.
Yeah, the music
you know,
like, snort this, smoke that, drink
like
this, beat this person up, rob this.
So when you go there like, so was that what it is? Like you've been laid back.
When we was young, we was really bad. You know, like we went to a school, Hillcrest High School. They had one of the first gangbang murders in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, obviously the whole city had murders, but they had one of the first ones that was like where some Bloods was trying to kill some gangster disciples or some Crips or whatever, shot a cheerleader through the neck. It was sad as fuck when we was walking home. It was all over the news. So when we was young, we grew up doing all kind of crazy shit. You know, me, Crunchy, Lord, Coop, Juicy, all of us. But as we got older and we started making money, we started veering away from that craziness.
You knew Coopster and
Coopster was like
and
a son of mine. Coopster, I took Coopster from a group home and moved him in my house with me.
Okay.
Yeah, in the early 90s. Crunchy went to high school with me. Boo went to high school with me. Lord Infamous is basically my brother. He's really my nephew.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But R.I.P. R.I.P. Boo, R.I.P. Coop.
Yeah.
So all of us knew each other since high school.
Yeah.
I met Coop like right after high school, during high school, really, last year of high school.
Yeah, man, how did you and Lord Infamous, y'all started the group together? What's the Serial Killers?
Serial Killers, yeah.
Right. How long were y'all in the group together?
Well,
wasn't it like how many projects?
The Serial Killers, we did about 2, maybe 3, maybe 2 under the name of Serial Killers. And then we just started doing DJ Paul and Lord Infamous. And we did like 3 of those. And then we stopped doing those and everything kind of went into 666 Mafia. Because by that time I was really doing a lot of stuff with Juicy and it went into 666 Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when he, how did he die?
Lord Infamous, he died from a heart attack.
So this was sudden death.
Yeah.
Caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Super.
And so, yeah, man, you it's like you've had some trials and tribulations, and you've had some great successes along the way. Mm-hmm. The trip part about it is that a lot of your successes and your I would say misfortunes have played out publicly, right? Like It's out there, it's where everybody can see. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about one of your successes. Mm-hmm. That damn Oscars.
Oh yeah.
That Oscars is capsulated in the annals of history, music history, forever. Boy, if I say you wasn't the happiest person in the world, I would be lying, bro. Like your happiness, your excitement was infectious. It's like it made me laugh. It made me go like, yeah. It was beautiful to watch that reaction. Did you think that y'all was gonna win? Did you think y'all had a real
No.
serious shot?
No, and you know the reason why that reaction was so wild is because we never won no awards. Like, we never even got nominated for no awards, really. I think we got nominated for a Source Awards once, but we didn't win. We got nominated for a BET Award after the Oscar. We didn't win that. You know, we lost that to the Black Eyed Peas, Hip Hop Group of the Year. I was like, I love Black Eyed Peas, but I didn't even know they was a hip hop group. But yeah, we never won no awards. We lost every award that we was ever nominated for, and then when we win the biggest one in the world.
Yeah, the one that you thought that you didn't have a shot. And you beat out Dolly Parton, bro.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton. You know what Dolly Parton did? Dolly Parton found our address. She's so connected. Found our address and sent us a letter. Wrote a letter and said, congratulations on the win. At least it came back to Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah, Dolly Parton she's the best. She's the best, man.
That was beautiful, man. And then, I mean, I guess the writing was kind of on the wall. The energy was in that room that night. And then Queen Latifah was actually doing the announcing.
Yeah.
And like when you could see her joy
when she saw
y'all name.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, she's a fellow, rapper herself.
Yeah.
Grew up listening to Queen Latifah, so when she saw that, she probably like, damn. Because, she was out way before us, and she probably like, man, hip-hop just went to another level right now.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah. When y'all were making that song, did you make that song with Juicy J?
Yeah, me and Juicy, yeah.
When y'all were making that song, did y'all know what y'all had?
No. Not that big. I mean, we were... Bro, when Juicy called me that morning and said we nominated for an Oscar, I told him I was going to call him back. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, oh, man, I'm asleep. It was like 6 in the morning. I was like, I'm going to call you back, bro. And then I Googled it on my phone. I was like, what? I called him back. I was like, the gold, man? He's like, yeah, we're nominated for an Oscar.
So just for clarity, you know what the Oscars is, but you didn't think,
I didn't
make
know
the connection when he said Oscar.
I didn't know the name. I didn't know the difference between an Oscar or Emmy. And I knew what a Grammy was because we're musicians.
So you had never heard of the
I've heard of it, but I didn't know the difference. Like if you put an Emmy award in front of me and an Oscar award in front of me, I couldn't tell you the name of neither one of them.
Right.
But I knew how they looked. I knew what they was.
I think that Oscar is like the dude standing with his hands. I think something like this or whatever.
It's like he's holding like a stick or something.
Oh, it's like
a cast or I mean like a walking cane or something. But yeah, I knew that both of them had something to do with TV and movies, but I didn't know which one was TV, which one was movies. And I was like, damn. They told us we was nominated. And they brought us out to L.A., they did background checks on us and shit, make sure we weren't running from the police. Right. Because they don't want the police to run in there while we on stage and arrest our ass. Obviously. I would have did the same thing.
What kind of perks come before the awards show ceremony and after when you're nominated for an Oscar? Like, with the parties and stuff like that. Like, I'm an outsider, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I ain't never been invited to nothing like that. So I need to know, like, what's it like?
Man, it was crazy. Parts like, before we won, everything was just regular before we won. It's just, just rehearsals and interviews and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then once we won, that's when everything changed, like in a heartbeat. Like, even just winning, the Oscars give you a gift bag worth $65,000.
What's inside?
Man, it was like private jet trips, resort trips, bunch of vacations, couple of necklaces. I gave one to my mama, a diamond necklace.
Diamond necklace?
Yeah, diamond necklace.
What?
Man, there was all kind of shit in there, bro. It was tons of shit. The bag alone was some big designer bag from some new company. It was like alligator on the outside or some shit, but...
You still got it?
No.
What'd you do with it?
It tore up. I used it so much. That was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I used it on all those trips they gave me. I was going to all those trips. Some of those places I still go to. Santa Barbara and all this shit. I had one in Santa Barbara. It was so funny. they gave us one of the trips was in this nice resort right like directly on the water in Santa Barbara, and I saw how I got there because this resort in Santa Barbara has a movie theater underground there, so it's for like say for instance if Paramount or Warner Brothers or whatever want to do like a little retreat with the company and look at a new movie that they got coming out, you can do all the viewing parties and private everything at this resort. So I saw Don Cornelius there. Don Cornelius was there when he was still alive, rest in peace. I saw him downstairs, him and his wife. And I was like, damn, man, Don Cornelius. And I was like, man, this is baller, man. I fucking picked up the phone and I FedEx all the way from Memphis. I FedEx my Rolls Royce to that resort on a FedEx truck. It was $5,000. And I FedEx my Rolls Royce there. I drove there in just a little minivan, just a little old minivan I had. Well, it wasn't old, just a minivan I had. You know, they was looking and they was like, it's DJ Paul. And they was like, yeah, kind of like, oh, wow. And then when they pulled up in that FedEx truck and pulled my Phantom off, they was like, what the fuck? And I was like, y'all got car wash here? And they was like, yeah, we can call a car wash company for you. I'm like, wash it up, man. I'm hitting the strip.
Now, why'd you do that?
Man, I was feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And I had to bring it out there anyway because we was finna move there and we was finna start filming a reality show. So I was like, why not now?
You could have waited to pay and paid $500 instead of $5,000.
Yeah, well, yeah, but at the same time, when you do a cover, because I transport my cars across the country a lot, when you do a covered transportation, it's gonna run you like $2,000 to $2,500 covered. Okay. Now, when you ride down the street and you see those double layered trucks where the cars is open and the rocks can hit up on them, and you can get that for like $500, $700, $800, $900,000.
Yeah, see, that's my speed. You know, let mine be uncovered. Man. I'm gonna be uncovered.
Yeah, so I was like $2,500 for covered, and and then you had to work out their schedule because they had to get enough cars or some shit sometime, and they'd be like, well, sometimes it better just be like one car, but it'd be like when we gonna be in that area. And this and that and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I want my shit now. I'm up here in Santa Barbara. Shit nice. They got a nice strip that goes down to this pier. We can watch the dolphins and all this shit. And I was like, I want my shit now.
Did you have it within 24 hours?
I had it fast. I don't remember how fast I got it. But it was fast because it
was next day?
The trip that they gave us was only 4 days. So I must have got it in probably a couple of days or a day or so. Yeah, they only gave us 4 days for that free resort. But the rooms were so expensive there. Like, whoo. It was blast, though.
Who in the group blow the most money? Blow. I'm talking about just be buying stuff, just left and right.
None of us really. None of us really. We was never like that. Probably me. I would say it would be me. Definitely me. Definitely me. So, but I'm smart with my money. So when I started having little freakouts about my credit card bill being so high or whatever, my business manager always be like, she'd be like, look, Paul, just calm down. She's like, 90% of the money that you're spending is for business. Mm-hmm. You know, it's these flights and it's all the property taxes and insurances and shit for all these homes and all the restaurants and shit. So she was like, yeah, it seems like a lot. You're spending a lot, but you also made a lot. So... But none of us just ball just doing stupid shit. You know, we never really did that. You know, all of us, you know, that's being a man. Period. When we growing up and we making a few dollars, we all like cars. That's just kind of like a man thing. You know, we like cars. You got a nice new car out there right now. We love cars, but other than that, we don't blow no lot of money. Just cars.
Right. Right. And what has been your favorite vehicle out of all the vehicles? How many vehicles have you bought through the years?
Oh my God, I couldn't put a number on it. I started buying cars. I had my first car in 1990. So it was a two-door Cutlass. I loved it. Loved Cutlasses. Then I went into Chevys. And I don't really keep a car over 6 months. So you just go every 6 months to a year from 1990 to now. I bought tons of cars, man. Tons, hundreds of cars.
Hundreds?
Probably. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I was
Or
doing
at least 100.
Yeah, I was doing my tally. I ain't nowhere close to that. I think I'm somewhere in 50s. But not for me, just for me. I bought cars for other people.
Yeah, me too. I mean, just my son alone, I bought him 5 cars because he would wreck them every fucking year. Run the back of people. I think he'd be texting and driving. Right. I love you, son. Whatever the camera's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I bought a lot of cars. My favorite car, everybody knows, my favorite car is a Rolls Royce. Like I keep a Rolls Royce, keep a couple of them. That's my favorite. I even got it tattooed on me. I don't get no discount for that. That's just some crazy nigga shit.
But damn. How old were you when you got that?
I don't know. Probably. I would have got it when I got my first Rolls Royce. That was in 2004. That was then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, when we first started going like on the road and doing shows and stuff, Memphis became quickly one of our favorite stops.
Man, they love y'all in Memphis.
Yeah, man. Like we would go there and then we would perform the song. Like it was always sold out. But when we started performing in the night, I think it was the first time we went to Memphis was like 89. When we did the song Scarface,
that was the one. I was going to say that. You didn't even have to say that. I was going to say that was the one.
They used to fight when that song would come on. So, what we would do is we would tell them, look, we had to use psychology on them. Like, look, man, we going to sing this song, but if y'all start fighting, y'all going to mess it up for everybody. And we're going to have to shut it down. Mm-hmm. And so we need everybody to leave here like you came in one piece. We all family. Now, if y'all want us to sing it, y'all gonna be cool? Yeah. And then we start going, and they'd be bumping into each other, slamming, doing that, what they call that dance?
Gangster walk.
The gangster walk.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't never seen somebody walk on the floor and the table at the same time.
Yeah.
Until I went to Memphis.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, of
course.
Like
I'm talking about you dope with it. Are you dope with it or you just
I'm not like that with it.
You ain't like that.
I'm dope with the regular one, but Crunchy was the one in our group that was the band, man.
Yeah.
The first song I ever had on the radio wasn't even my own song. It was Scarface. And I'll tell you what I mean. I was trying to get songs on the radio. We had a guy named Stan Bell, which you would have met Stan Bell when y'all came to the radio. He ran the radio back then. I think Stan's still on the radio. But Stan knew that I was just a young guy trying to be a producer and DJ and this and that. I was DJing in clubs. I owned a couple of clubs. Well, I didn't own them, but, I would rent them out and put my name on them and do Paul's Playhouse and all that shit. Yeah. So had a couple of clubs, I put it like that. And he said, I want you to do something for me. My way of earning points with him was to make clean versions of songs that wasn't clean. And the first one I did, I made a clean version of Scarface to play on the radio in Memphis.
And how did you do that? You just did
I did it with a 4-track. I did it with a 4-track. So what I did was I just went in and I reversed the words with the turntable, with actual wax. And I muted out that part when he cussed, and I put a reverse in there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't easy.
Right. Yeah.
But I did it.
Yeah,
I did it. And made a clean version of Scarface for K97, and that was first time I was ever on the radio, somewhat.
Yeah. And you were 11 years old when you got into DJing? How old?
No, I was 12 years old when I first started trying to rap, but I wasn't DJing then. I was just taking a fucking double cassette tape and I had one that was really cool. Well, I would loop the ends of the tapes, instrumentals when they would play at the end. I would loop them, keep dubbing it over and over again. And it had a button on it where you could record externally too. So like I could record from one tape to the other, and instead of it going internally and dubbing it like a regular cassette tape do, it could do that mode, or it could do where it's playing the cassette tape and you could talk into the speaker as well. It record outside noise. So weird. I don't know why it did that. And that's how I would rap into those. Me and Lord Ember started doing that in 5th, 6th grade. And by the time I got into the 9th, 10th grade, that's when I was into DJing, and that's when I brought out the Serial Killers EP with 3 songs on it. And then after that shit was too high to keep doing because we had to physically press those up because those was cassette tapes with the artwork and everything. So I just went into the TDK tape mixtapes after that. Mm-hmm. And that's when the DJ came in. The DJ didn't come in because I wanted to be a DJ. I never wanted to be a DJ. I just wanted a way to get our music out there. So like I would play like y'all songs or NWA and
and then put y'all in the middle somewhere.
Then I squeeze one of mine in there.
Yeah.
Then like a LL Cool J, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Squeeze another one of mine in there. And people would be like, man, what's that song on that fifth one? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. How'd it go? Like, oh, man, it went like this. And like, oh, that's the new Lord Infamous, man. Me and Lord Infamous. Yeah. And it worked. So by the time I did that from Volume 1, 2, and 3, by the time I got to Volume 4, it was all my own shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do the people in Memphis hip-hop have the same level of admiration for your contributions to hip-hop as the more global community do, in your opinion?
Like you saying, like, do they like really appreciate and love what we did?
Do they appreciate?
Yeah, man, because Memphis, man, y'all are one of the only people outside of Memphis that Memphis listened to. Memphis didn't buy CD players for their cars until we went on CD, and that was in 1995. Up to that, they was like, nope, I'm a cassette player. Until 3 6 Mafia go on CD, I'm not listening to it because Memphis love Memphis music. Right. They don't really listen to a lot of outside music. They would listen to y'all and they would listen to Too Short because y'all tempos went with what we liked. Like Too Short, boom, boom. That's our tempos, you know. So, and Scarface was like that, but a little fast. Dope gang, push it rock. That was shit that we could dance to. You know what I'm saying? Now me, I ventured out. I listened to Public Enemy and all that. Another person we listened to was Luke Skywalker. They had our tempos. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But Memphis didn't really listen. So yeah, Memphis loved the shit out of us. They still do. Yeah.
Where were you when you heard that young Dolph was shot?
I was at home.
Killed?
I was at home. Yeah, I was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But I heard about it. You know what? The crazy part about it, he got killed on Lord Infamous' birthday, November 17th. Yeah, that was the first thing I said. I was like, what? He doesn't get killed on Lord Infamous' birthday? So it's like a good and bad day.
Yeah. Do you think that the Memphis hip-hop artists today are in a more like dangerous space than they were when you were coming up?
Yeah, totally. Artists, period, are. It ain't just Memphis. Artists, period, are because it's, I personally think that more kids have guns these days than they had them back in the days. Like I had guns when I was a kid, but I didn't know nobody else who really had guns like I did. I didn't really know I knew people that had guns, but I didn't know a lot of people that had guns like when you see them these days. Like you see 14-year-old kids with guns and shit these days. I didn't get my first gun until I was probably like 16, 15. Yeah. That's kind of close to 14 when you think about it. But we didn't have the shit that they got now. We didn't have, like fucking fully automatics and all that shit. We didn't have stuff like that. If we got our hands on a 38 to split between a 38 revolver or a little Saturday Night Special to split between 5 dudes, we was happy. Right. At least one dude had a gun in the group.
That's right.
Shit, man, these motherfuckers these days, man, everybody got 5 each.
I could totally relate to what you're saying. That's crazy, man. Memphis is like Memphis has a lot of rich history, like a lot of rich tradition.
In music, especially.
Yeah, in music, yeah. And but even when you look at the civil rights movement, that's where Dr. King unfortunately met his demise.
Yeah.
At the Lorraine Motel, I went by there on Father's Day. I actually went to meet John Amos,
Yeah.
from Good Times.
Yeah.
Yeah, went out there to meet
I
him.
heard he not doing good.
No, he's all right.
Yeah.
He's all right, man. It's just that,
What was he doing
some
in
people
Memphis?
tried to exploit his situation, huh?
What was he doing in Memphis?
He was at a hospital there, but it was more so for observation,
Oh.
So he was dehydrated. I believe it started off with him being dehydrated or something like that, and they kind of then it turned into like a custody fight,
Of course, always.
between family members and stuff. But he's doing all right now. He's on TikTok every day with his son, KC. That seemed like he living a life, having fun.
Yeah, because I had saw him on I think it was HGTV. I think it was HGTV. Yeah, like a couple of years ago or some shit. Maybe 3-4 years ago doing a show. And he looked like he was in tip-top shape.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the show was about.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man.
Yeah, he seemed to be in good spirits to me, and very, very much in control of his faculties, unlike most of the people who are chiming in on, his situation. He seems to be pretty sharp.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. OG, man. Can't lose him.
Yeah. Did you watch Good Times Coming Up?
Oh, I got the Good Times DVDs at my house right now.
Yeah, I do too. I hit my children to those DVDs when they were very young. I was like, y'all need to watch this. And when I first stuck it in, they were like, what is this? And then they started hearing the laughs, and then they kind of got hooked.
Yeah, Good Times is my shit. But my favorite one was Sanford and Son. That's my all-time favorite. I can watch Sanford and Son every day.
Yeah, I watch Sanford and Son too, yeah. What's the coldest line ever?
And Sanford and Son, that's
Sanford
easy.
Son.
That's easy. When he came home from Vegas one day, and he walked up in the house, he was tired, and everybody was waiting on him with a surprise party. They like, surprise! And then Rollo walked up to him, and he said something little, you know how they always had the black man in those days talking like rhyme, like
jive talk.
And he walked up to Fred and he said some words that rhyme. And Fred said, "Oh, I got one for you. Whop bam boom. Somebody get this nigga out of my room." Said nigga on live TV. Yeah. I think it was like the first episode
they said that quite often on that show and on the Jeffersons.
Yep.
They would say that on the Jeffersons and on
that other one. What's the heavyset white dude?
Archie Bunker.
Yeah, I heard they say it on there a few times.
Say, man, let me tell you something, bro. Yes, they do. But they let the black person say the use word. The white person wouldn't say the word.
Well, the white person wrote it, though.
Yeah, exactly. But Archie Bunker, All in the Family, it was a great show. And I know a lot of people out there may not like me saying that.
That show was good, man.
But that show was well written. They totally nailed the character. The type of stuff that the asinine things that would come out his mouth would just make you laugh because it was so stereotypical.
Yeah.
He would just say stereotypical stuff, and as a black person, that all black people are not like that.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny. They hit a home run. And Carol, by the way, Carol O'Connor was far from a racist.
Yeah.
But he played the hell out of that role.
Yeah. I miss the old TV like that, man. It's not that them days probably never come. Well, maybe they will.
You got to watch the
like
reruns. You got to go check out the reruns.
I watched the reruns, but I hate the TV
it ain't coming back.
You never know. I think not no time soon. Probably not in our lifetime. But I think the raw times will come back. I think it'll be a point in this world where it'll be so raw that we won't even understand it. I think that it'll go from stuff like UFC and boxing to motherfuckers physically killing each other in the ring. Like the old days back in the day when motherfucker got on the horse with the little thing like that, just like that left. I think, you know what I'm saying? I think all that shit will come back like death like a match to the end. I think it'll come back one day.
If you could produce a show like All in the Family, what would be the plot? Like, what would be like the type? What would be the show? Would you have a name in mind? I know your head is always spinning.
Always spinning.
So I know you've had to think of something like this at least once.
I would have some ideas. I'm not gonna say them publicly because one of you motherfuckers out there go do it.
Right.
But yeah, I would want to make a show more like more like Fred.
Yeah.
Because what I liked about Fred, I don't remember a whole lot about Archie Bunker, but I still watch the Freds, like I said. And the good part about the Freds is, and this probably was on Archie Bunker too, but I seriously doubt it. Fred and them had every race on there. They had the Asian man, which was played by Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid.
Right.
Pat Otaka. I can't remember his name. Pat. Mr. Miyagi. So they had the Hispanic dude on there, the Mexican guy, the black and white cop, good cop, bad cop, shit. They had everything on there, so they could crack jokes about every race and nobody not be offended.
Yeah.
So they couldn't have everybody on there just saying, talk about, H word this, H word that about white people without not having a white person on there that could, counter. But not say the N word. They weren't gonna do that, obviously. But I just like how they had every walk of life on that show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But Sanford and Son, to this day, you still get some representation of that show on a daily basis, at least if you're online, if you're on social media especially, if you're on there a lot like I am, you're going to see at least one comment where somebody's going to say, "You big dummy."
Yeah.
At least once
a
day. I mean, that was an iconic catchphrase. Also, "I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth."
Yeah. I'm coming to join you, honey.
Yeah, I'm coming
and
to join you.
And he always added something to it.
Yeah.
I'm coming to join you. I'm going to have a so-and-so, and a so-and-so.
Yeah.
Man, that's so funny.
That's
man.
Fred G. Sanford. The G is for whatever he thought about at the time. Whatever fit.
Yeah, when I be at the airport and I have to where I'm at and they ask me to spell my last name, I always put the period at the end. I be like, period.
Yeah.
D, period. Like he used to do.
Yeah.
That's SANFORD, period.
Yeah. Now, how many kids do you have?
2. Thank God.
Are they like in the industry?
No. My son know how to make beats and sing and all that shit. My daughter know how to sing and all that. My daughter's still young though.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 11 years old. And she's still young, but
Any inkling of what she want to be, or what she want to do with her life?
Man, she do so much shit right now. She play sports. She play instruments. She sings. She love to draw. Both of my kids love to draw. Cause I drew a lot when I was a kid. So both of my kids love to draw. And I don't know. I know my son want to get more into art. I just bought him this big old thing that you can draw on that they make real cartoons with. So hopefully he'll keep pursuing that career. That'll be fun. And I think my daughter probably might end up going into the same thing because my son is older than my daughter, but my son, he's like, man, I haven't seen nobody with this precise line work at this age ever. Yeah, she's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many kids you got?
2. Boy and a girl.
Me too, boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I like it just like that. I don't need no more.
Now, when your kids, did you have an idea of what kind of kids you wanted before they came into the world?
No, I didn't want kids before they came into the world.
Yeah?
I mean, I didn't mind. It wasn't nothing I wasn't against. It just it was the last thing on my mind. I was young.
And why didn't you want kids?
I ain't gonna say I didn't want them. I'm gonna say it was just the last thing on my mind. When I had my son...
I mean, before they came. But why you didn't want them before they came?
Because when I had my son, this was when we had just made our first nationwide album. So it came
I feel like it's going to slow me down.
I didn't know what the fuck it was going to do.
Yeah.
But after I had him, man, I loved him. I was like, oh, man, that's cool. I put him in every fucking music video. I bought him little hypnotized minds, medallions, and chains, and mink coats. And It's like dressing up like a little doll, a little G.I. Joe. But yeah, I love kids now. I don't really need no more, just so you know that. But I love kids.
Yeah. What do you think about how Elvis is celebrated in Memphis? Does it ever get on your nerves that people praise Elvis Presley so much?
No, I like Elvis.
You like Elvis? What
Yeah.
you like about Elvis?
Well, I like that Elvis. I liked Elvis swag. I grew up in across the street from Elvis Presley's house, so I grew up in that whole little Graceland area. You know, so we saw this shit all the time. When I went to his house, I decorated my house in Memphis off of the way he had his house decorated. You know, he had
Graceland?
Graceland. He had a Hawaii-style room in there, and I didn't do a Hawaii-style room. I did an Asian-style room because I love the Asian culture a lot. And I saw he had trees and shit in his house. Still today, I put trees in my house. I love to have plants. And I liked Elvis. I liked this. I watched the Elvis movie. I liked the Elvis movie. It was long. I loved it. You know, but like I said, I love this music. I redid one of his songs. It's on YouTube. I redid it for an Elvis Presley TV show on ABC back in like 2007, I think it was. Where I redid In the Ghetto because my mama used to listen to Elvis, and that was her favorite Elvis Presley song. I ain't gonna say she listened to nothing else from him, but In the Ghetto, she listened to that all the time. So when we was approached by ABC or NBC to do a song for the anniversary of Elvis, I said I got the perfect one, and I went in and we made this song. We rapped on it. It's hard. It's jamming. So yeah, I liked Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Elvis, and you know, like obviously I wasn't around in those days when Elvis Presley was dying. I was just basically just born. Matter of fact, we was in the same hospital. I always tell people that his soul went in the air conditioning vents and came into me. But anyway, one of the things that people in Memphis said, they said that he helped out a lot of black people. Like, I think he bought like a Cadillac for a black lady or something once or some shit. Rumor has it. So
I've heard conflicting stories. I've heard that he was racist, and I've heard that he did help black people.
Yeah, I never heard one thing about him being racist. Never, not one thing.
Now, how you hear? You ain't heard anything, and I don't even live in Memphis, and I heard.
Well, it's probably because you probably heard from people that weren't from Memphis. I heard from people that was from Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably heard from somebody from Oklahoma or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No offense to Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma.
Right.
But yeah, everybody that I know, like in Memphis, like my parents and stuff like that, you know, that was around in those days, they never said nothing racist about him. Like I said, my mama listened to his music.
Yeah.
And I heard about, like, you know, cars he bought here and there for some people. But, you know, who knows? I wasn't around.
Yeah. Did I hear something about somebody was trying to make a movement for y'all to get a street sign?
No, we haven't talked about that. We in talks of getting a star on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
But not a street sign in Memphis. We need to get one.
Yeah, y'all. I think y'all will get that.
Yeah, we should.
You'll get that star. You'll get that star. But what if y'all get the star and then you start seeing video of people spitting on the star and stuff like that and trying to damage it?
I don't give a shit.
You don't care?
As long as they ain't sitting in that front of that motherfucker with that little thing you ride up in and drilling the ground with. As long as they got one of those, I don't care. I don't care. They can have fun with that motherfucker. We got a music note in Memphis on the ground on Bill Street.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've been had that.
I was on Bill Street, man. Like I said, for Father's Day, I went out there and, you know, Bill Street, I mean, it ain't the 1940s, but it's still popping. It's still popping over there.
I mean, they work on making it less popping because motherfuckers be getting popped on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, motherfuckers be getting killed on Bill Street. So now I think they just added metal detectors. They put a police station on Bill Street, a real police headquarters on Bill Street.
Well, I saw the big road barriers out there, but I didn't see anybody like stopping people with metal detectors.
You went there at night, like on a weekend night, really?
Yeah.
They probably don't. I just heard that they was going to do that, or had did it. I don't know. I don't know how they could because there's so many other ways to walk around it. But yeah, people get shot in fights on Bill Street all the time because it's all bars.
Yeah.
You had a bunch of bars in a city with motherfuckers carrying a bunch of guns, and it just kind of go hand in hand, like peanut and butter, or peanut butter and jelly.
Right. Well, peanut and butter. Now that I think about it, where the hell did butter come from?
Yeah. The only part that makes sense in there is the nut. I don't know where the pea or the butter came from.
Yeah. Huh. Do you think you have another Who Run It in you?
Probably not. Probably not, man. Probably not.
So what are you doing? You gotta be still making music.
Oh, I still make music. Shit, I was just in the studio. I got a whole album coming out with me and Crazy Bone. It's jamming.
Yeah?
Yeah, me and Crazy Bone. I got another one with me and Young Buck.
That's dope.
Me and Young Buck. And then I saw Crazy Bone name right there in the studio on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lazy Bone too. They're my boys. I was just in the studio with Crazy Bone yesterday.
Yeah.
Literally yesterday. We made 2 new songs. We got one with me, him, and Akon in the drop. And yeah, I still make music. But like Who Run It, you know, that was a different time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
yeah, that was one of my favorite beats I ever made. So like, it took me 2 takes to make that beat. It was originally a different kind of beat. It was like scary music with pianos and shit that I played. And then I wanted to just totally flip it and make it more like New York style. Because a lot of my production, I kind of based it off of New York style. Because that's what I grew up listening to, you know. Outside of y'all, I was listening to a lot of New York rap. Because obviously I was listening to New York rap before y'all. New York was here before all of us. And so I have little hints of that in my music too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Who Run It, man? Man, how many of those challenge songs did people do?
Man, it was thousands of those motherfuckers. It was so many of them, it made me actually stop liking the song. It made me stop, because there was so many bad ones. It was some good ones. It was some good ones, but there was
Who you think did
so
the best
many bad ones. Huh?
Who you think did the best one? The best version of it?
Me.
But obviously, besides you.
I would have to listen back. I think Herbo started the whole thing. Oh, I think one of my favorite ones, it was 21 Savage, actually. I think he had a really good one, because I remember he had one. I don't remember everybody's, but I just know it was so many of them, man. I was like, oh, God, man, please make this stop. It was like a dream that would never stop ending. You ever had a dream? I was just talking about this coming from the airport. You ever had a dream, a bad dream, and then you wake up from it, go back to sleep, and that same dream come back on? That ever happen to you?
A few times. Yeah.
I had that happen to me 3 times in my life. One time was last week. I had a nightmare. It was a dream about some motherfuckers. You know, I got into some shootouts and some crazy shit. Woke up, went back to sleep. It came back on. Woke up again. It came back on again. I was like, what?
Now, at what point in the dream did you wake up?
I don't remember.
Right before you got killed or something, or somebody was shooting at you, something
crazy
like
shit
that?
Like that. I don't remember.
Because that's typically how my dreams is go. If I have a violent dream,
yeah,
and I'm part of the violence,
yeah,
typically when I'm about to get hurt, I wake up.
That's when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't wake up and like in the middle of some you know, the good shit. You wake up in the middle of the bad shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But it's because I watch all these fucking crime shows before I go to bed.
See, I had to stop doing that.
Yeah, see, I recently, I recently just made myself stop doing that.
Yeah, that energy is something else, man. It's real.
It's real.
Because you feed your brain that type of energy, those
before
negative thoughts
bed.
like that, especially before bed. And that used to be one of my favorite pastimes, to watch those type of shows, because they're 30-minute shows. They're better than some of the corny comedy stuff that's on. So, and it's real life stuff. I mean, it's stuff that I'm interested in, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I would rather see a story about a real motherfucker that's going around doing this than an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that type of stuff, but it does something wicked to your brain.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like, I've dated some people that I've dated some females that they was like they couldn't sit in the room with me and watch it. They'd be like, no,
Yeah.
I can't watch this.
Yeah. I had to actually, I didn't break myself from it. You know, this young lady broke me from it because she was like, I can't. At first, I used to get offended when she said, "I can't watch that. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to watch that. I don't watch that. You know, it's not good energy, and I'm not going to feed into anything that doesn't feed my soul." And da da da. And I'm like, man, go in the other room or something. But you know, I liked her company more than I liked watching those shows. So I was like, all right, I'll acquiesce.
Yeah, exactly. My situation was like that too, basically. But she would sit up and she'd just be like, while I watch it, she like, I'm still want to hang out with you. She just started editing pictures on her phone or doing some other shit while I was sitting up there and watching it. But she wouldn't lay eyes on it except for something really dramatic happened. Then she'd look for a second. Then she'd look out. And I'd be like, man,
and then when she looked, she say, what'd she say? That's horrible. Oh.
Yeah, she'd be like, that's fucking horrible. But I'd be like, man, this shit is educational. Like, you should know shit like this. Like, you should know stuff like this. Because, she was so into, she come from another place where it was like, it was no violence like that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, where I come from, fucking Black Haven, Memphis, Tennessee, we saw this shit on a daily. Oh, crazy in Memphis.
So you said Black Haven. So y'all call White Haven Black Haven?
I made that up. It's tattooed on my arm. I got that from my mama.
Yeah.
When we first moved out there in like 1983, my mom was like, I don't know why they call it White Haven. There ain't nothing but niggas out here. She said, they ain't called it Black Haven. I went and got that patent.
Yeah. Black Haven.
BHZ.
South Memphis.
South Memphis.
Yeah. Man, let's talk. You mentioned Crazy Bone doing a album with Crazy Bone. Let's talk about the Verzuz. That's probably caught some people by surprise because they obviously thought that there was some real tension there. I'm friends with you, and I'm friends with you and all of the guys at Bone Thugs and Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
And they told me like, man, ain't nobody tripping. We ain't tripping on that. We cool.
Man, we are cool.
But what was that? But what was that about though?
It was cause I think Busy Bone, Busy Bone, my guy, we cool. Obviously, we hugged at the end and this and that. But I just think while the show was going on, he started to take it a little more personal than everybody else was just kind of looking at it as just we just fucking around and joking on each other like brothers. But it probably just kind of flashed back to him from when we all had real beef when we was kids. Cause like when we was teenagers, us and Bone, we was really into it.
Yeah.
Like we was that was like a known beef in hip hop. But after we start to see each other, we kind of ended up on the same label, Relativity Records. And
Relativity was in New York, right?
Yeah, New York.
Yeah.
We ended up doing a song. The first song we did with them was with Crazy Bone on a Project Pat's first album. I think it was his first album, Get It Green. We did a song with Crazy Bone, and that kind of made everything be squashed. And now us and Bone, we see each other all the time. We got the same merch company and factory. We hang out all the time. I do shows in L.A. Lazy Bone and all the boys, they come to the show and just hang out with me, jump on stage and all that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what I like to see, man.
Yeah.
I like to see that, I was a lot younger. I probably want to see a little action, but I love seeing that actually. And Boo was like the most. How did y'all get Boo to calm down, man? Because Boo was like turned all the way up.
Yeah, she was wild.
R.I.P. Gangsta Boo, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. Boo.
I had just spoken to Boo. I had told you that. I had just spoken to Boo like a couple of days before she died.
Yeah.
Well, like, man, how did y'all get Boo to calm down?
Because they took Busy off stage, and the whole show was paused for probably about man, it felt like 15 minutes or something, but I know it wasn't that long. The whole show was probably paused for about 10 minutes. They took him to the back, and then, he came back out, and, we all hugged, and everybody was cool, and then we continued on with the show. But everything was just quiet for a minute. Everybody was looking at each other, and people from our side, youngsters, was jumping up on stage. People from their side, youngsters, was jumping up on the stage. Man, it was about to get bad in there. Really, really bad in there. But it didn't, though, because, all of us knew that we didn't want to, do that. We didn't want to go there. We didn't want to fight each other. We see each other all the time. So that's when I ran over there. I didn't hit nobody. I just ran over there to kind of shield Juicy and Boo from him throwing the bottles. But I wasn't going to cross that line where they had a little yellow taped off line for their side of the stage and our side of the stage. I want to run over that line and just start hitting people, because if I would have ran over that, then everybody from my side would have ran over that. Then it would have been like, 30, 40 motherfuckers fighting. And we didn't want to fight each other because we hang out with each other all the time. That would have changed the whole... Man, Crazy Bone was already 4 songs deep into this album when that happened. So, it wouldn't have made no sense. Everything played out just how it should have been. Didn't nobody physically hit each other, none of that. The boys ran up, and I think it was more kind of like members of their crew and members of my crew that kind of, put hands on each other, but nobody in the groups were hit. And once it calmed down, everybody was back loving each other, and we ended it perfectly with all us hugging and doing their last song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with Boo's family?
Yeah, I talk to her mom all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, bro, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
When I heard she died, that really caught me off guard, man. I was like, what?
Yeah,
she was such in good spirits. Too,
I thought Boo would have been one of the last ones. But, you just can't, I cut off drugs a long time ago. Because it ain't like it was when we was in the 90s. Back in the day, we would sit up and do blow for 3-4 days. I remember one day I did do it for 4 days. I didn't even sleep. But it wasn't no fentanyl and shit like that back then. You know what I'm saying? You heard about people overdosing, and a lot of times they still lived, survived, you know what I'm saying? But it's a different time now. It's like you just can't be playing around like that no more.
When you first started, like you wasn't like scared to do drugs? Like when you first started,
hell no.
You just want to see. Did you do it just because you wanted to high? You wanted to prove to yourself that you could do it?
Well, I had already been smoking weed because I was fucking selling weed, like 5th, 6th grade. But the hard drugs came from my boy Get High Chris that lived across the street from me.
Mm-hmm. We
was in my Suburban one day, and he was hitting it. He's like, "Paul, you want to hit this?" And I was like, "Fuck it. I watch Scarface movie every day. Let's do it." That movie right there is what did it.
Yeah.
I think that's what did it to a lot of people.
Mm.
They're like, fuck, Scarface was doing it. He rich. He got hot chicks. Fuck it. It can't be too bad. And shit. That shit was bad as hell. I tell everybody, do not ever touch that shit.
I was looking for my mom one day in a cafe in 5th Ward. And I couldn't find her where she normally spot. Normally, if your mom in the hood, she going to be at 1 or 2 places,
Same
maximum
spots
3.
all the time.
You know where to go. I couldn't find her. So I go in the restroom, and I see this dude is sitting on a toilet with his hands strapped, his arms strapped,
Mm-hmm.
and he's shooting up. Mm-hmm. And he was just like looking really, really pitiful. And I'm a prideful man in the sense that I don't want to be embarrassed. And that just looked really pitiful to me. Like, it looked embarrassing. That's why, I can't be a beggar. Like, I know that I can't be a beggar. I know that I'm just not fit to be that type of dude because I got too much pride. Mm-hmm. And I knew, not just from that situation, but I also saw other situations where people would do drugs, and I'm talking about men end up pimping their bodies. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like letting men run up in them for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I was like, man, them damn drugs got a mind of their own. Like once you mess with them drugs, you ain't in control. You're no longer in control.
Mm-hmm.
So I never wanted to like experience that. I never wanted something or a substance to be able to control my mind.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do drugs. I'll say, yeah, I was scared of that shit. Like I didn't want to put myself in a position to whereas, I mess around and do something I can't recognize myself.
Yeah. Yeah, well, cocaine wasn't really like that. That dude that you saw, he was shooting up. That's when you on a whole
No,
nother
he was
level.
on heroin.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Cocaine back in the day was like considered a rich man's drug.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the drug that you got some girls over and you snort all line off her titties, some shit like that, and you just fucking getting high and having fun. And the next day you might wake up and be like, I don't ever want to see cocaine a day in my life. Cocaine wasn't like marijuana or something where you wanted to wake up, wake and bake, and do it every day and this and that. You have a good party night with cocaine, you can be off that shit for a year if it don't come around you no more. Or it could just be a week, or it could just be, a few days, depending on what kind of person you is. I know some motherfuckers that did it every day. I don't know how they did that. But back in those days when I did it, I didn't do it like every day. I didn't do it every day except that one time I told you I had that little 4-day run on it when I first got my own house and all that shit, and me and Coop was living together. We was wild and writing the albums. But other than that, man, it was sometimes I would have a good night with it, and then I probably wouldn't do it for months, months. And then it started going into years. And then I just got away from it all the way around. But it was more like a party drug,
So it's kind of like when people that do it, they doing it because it's just what people are doing. Like you go to a bar, you drink.
Yeah. So you go to a mansion in Hollywood and there's hot girls all over the place. And, some motherfuckers in the bathroom got some blow. And they be like, hey, you want to hit the blow? And you be like, yeah, fuck it. This and that. You're just in there with some hot girls and you're just in the bathroom or whatever, or in a little bedroom to the side. And girls in there just doing it. And they hand it to you, you do it. And take a drink and fucking, what I'm saying? Whatever happens after that. But then, after a while, you start feeling, if you get a hold of some bad shit, and that's way before fentanyl, you get a hold of some shit that's cut too much or this and that, and you wake up the next day and your nose all stopped up and you blowing your nose, trying to get this shit up out of you, and your head hurt. And then that's what ran me away from it. I was like, man, I ain't got time to be waking up feeling like no piece of shit, man. I was like, with a headache and stopped up nose, and like I hate that shit. Like that's the worst thing in the world to me. So that's what ran me away from it, and thank God it did before it got into the serious shit.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably be just like Boo if I didn't stop, long ago.
If you stopped doing music, entertainment, period. If you removed yourself totally from entertainment, somebody like you who has to stay busy, who's constantly coming up with new ideas and, have to entertain yourself, like what type of business venture would you go into?
It'll be what I do now. It'll be the real estate.
Okay.
I do that more. I do that on a daily basis. I actually do that more than I do music. Now with music, I do paperwork and shit like that every day. You know what I'm saying? But I don't physically do music every day. I might make a song twice a month, you know what I'm saying? Or 3 or 4 times a month, if that. You know what I'm saying? I don't make songs that much. I make beats a lot. I like to make beats. But even still with a beat, I might go a whole month without making a beat, and then I might go in there in 1 week or 1 day, turn around 3, 4 beats or whatever. But real estate, that shit is a full-time job every day, I'm sitting right now in my room, I was ordering tubs for a fucking property of mine and, going through tiles, going to different spots looking for a new tile. I've been looking for this blue hexagon tile that I can't find no fucking where, the right one, rather. And
the small one or the large? Big,
I'm looking for the 4-inch hexagon.
Okay.
4 or 5 inch, I think it's a 4 inch. And I'm talking to different guys. I'm trying to find the best guy to do my fireplaces or the best guy to do this or this. Because I own 18 properties. I'm always buying a lot of properties. And I fix them up and I rent them out. A lot of everybody that know me know that. And my fans, they've seen me talk about this a million times on other podcasts and all that. Because I grew up watching my dad do that. Okay, that's what I didn't mention. So outside of my daddy having a pest control company, he also bought and rented out properties. But the difference between me and him is I have people that property manage it for me. But I'm still on my bigger high-end properties, like my $1 million properties, not the smaller ones. But my $1 million properties, I'm hands-on with the decoration and all of that. With the smaller rental properties, I don't, I'm not. I got a guy that's really good for that. But my dad, he did all that himself. So I'd be a little kid on the ground playing with my little Tonka toys and shit, and my dad in there fucking under the sink doing plumbing and doing us and laying carpet or whatever the fuck. He was doing a lot of that shit himself because he didn't have a property manager. He was dealing with motherfuckers that was late for their rent and didn't want paying all that himself. So that rubbed off on me as well. So that's 100% what I would be doing. That's what I would end up doing. When I said fuck music, I would still end up doing properties. That's how I saw John Amos on HGTV because I'm always watching it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've been doing for a long time is investing in real estate. But when it comes to that, the thing that irks me the most about it, and I would do it a lot more often if it wasn't for bad contractors. What's your level of, what's your experience with dealing with contractors?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I do with the contractors because I've had that situation too. But my brother, shout out to my play brother Steve in Hollywood. We came up with a plan because we bought some desert houses and shit that we Airbnb. And we came up with a plan. Shout out to my realtor too. We came up with a plan. My realtor gave me this plan. And that's become your own contractor. If you become your own contractor, he told me this. He was like, he said, Paul, if you got some extra time, if you got time to go to one of your new properties at least 3-4 times a week, be your own contractor, I guarantee you'll save $30,000 to $40,000. And I said, man, I'm down to do that. So what I did was instead of hiring a contractor that go out and hire all these different guys and tack on his shit, I just became that contractor and I just hired all these people myself. It takes longer to do. Yeah. It takes longer to do, but you're going to get exactly what you want. You can make your own deals. You can use friends here, friends there. I don't recommend that. But, here and there you might have one that's cool. I got a brother that paint. I might fly my brother and let him paint a room or two and stay at the house while he doing it because I trust him to do that. My whole family do that for him. So that's the advice I would give. If you got a little extra time, then just do it. Be your own contractor. Because with the internet these days, you can do that. It ain't like back in the day. Or you scrolling through Yellow Pages.
Most of the time when you're doing that anyway, you pretty much acting as a subcontractor anyway because you're standing over these people, making sure they do the work the right way. Yeah. So if you know what work needs to be done and you have some basic knowledge of how that work needs to be done, then you can actually be your own contractor. But you got to be careful when it comes to things like plumbing and electricity. You got to know what to look for, like certain things that needs to be done. For example, like hardy board. You got to know that you need to have hardy board on a particular surface if you're going to have water or you're going to have, in my case, fire. I redid my fireplace. And, if you don't know that hardy board needs to be laid on top of that surface before you put the final stone on it, because the hardy board keeps the fireplace warm. It keeps the tile warm, right? So if you don't know that, you don't know what to look for, and you hire the wrong person, and they don't do that, you could have some major issues. So as long as you have basic knowledge of what needs to be done, and you got the time, for me, it saved me a lot of money, but more than the money, the headache. Because like you said, you know exactly what's going on. If there's a delay, you ain't got to take somebody else's word. You know, you're paying everybody on time. You don't have to come out as much money up front per contractor, because instead of paying one guy, half or a third, you're paying, 4 or 5 guys what their price is.
Yeah.
What each one of their price is.
Yeah.
And you're coming out with less money up front.
Yeah.
And you get to keep your money and control the purse strings better. So I'm with you 100% on that, man. These contractors, man. Hey, man.
And like I said, and like I heard you talk about earlier, I went and I pick out my own tiles and I pay for my own tiles. And I have my tile guy go pick them up. I got a tile guy to do the tiles. I got a wood guy to do the wood floors. I got a painter to do this, and that. Like I learned a long time ago is don't try to have one person doing too many jobs.
Right.
Let them do just the job they specialize in. Even though this tile guy might be like, oh, yeah, I do hardwood floors too. Like, no, which one do you specialize in? That's the one that I want you to do. I don't want you to bring in one of your buddies and add some more money on to me because you really don't do tiles. Because 9 times out of 10, the tile guy and a hardwood floor guy, that's totally 2 different worlds. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just rather have a guy to just do that, I go pick out my own wood. I go pick out my own tiles. I pay that company, have the contractor go pick it up, and I'll take it to the property. That way ain't nothing got tacked on nowhere down in the middle.
Yeah, I'm with that 100%. I'm with that 100%. Now, before we go, man, I know what the candles mean to me, but this is your thing. You like to bring the candles out.
I love candles.
Yeah.
I love candles for 2 reasons. I love the vision of the fire, and I love the smell of candles. I got candles all over my whole house. Like I just love the smell of candles. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I light them. But my manager just sent me this thing. They just made this machine that mimics the smell of different hotels. So like, you like the smell of the Four Seasons or this and that. I got that machine. Yeah. I wake up, I put that motherfucker on number 2, it'll go all the way up to like number 10. Put it on number 2. In the living room, and it'll just travel through the, that level of the floor, or whatever. But I still like the candles, though. I still like the candles.
Yeah, well, optically, it's hard to not like candles. You see the fly, the burn. It sets a nice little mood, the ambiance. That's dope.
Yeah.
Man. DJ Paul is in the building, man.
We got to do a part 2, Willie.
Start back. Yeah,
I ain't get a chance to interview you. You remember I told you I was going to interview you, man.
I'm with that, though.
I wanted to see what was Willie D doing when he wrote Bald Head Hoes, man. What made all that happen, man? Yeah. Motherfucker, wearing dresses and shit.
Hey, we should get into that, though. We should get into that next time, though.
Yeah.
I got some.
I got to talk about how I used to play like I was the Yellow Boys and steal y'all raps. When I was just a kid, I wasn't even a rapper. I was in the 8th grade. And I'd be like, I rap. And they'd be like, you do? And I'm like, yeah, I can rap. I started small town, dope gang, cocaine. Put your right. They'd be like, man, this dude is good. Because my brother was in the gang. My brother was in the dope gang. He went to the feds. And when he would be traveling, going and doing his thing. Shout out to my brother Phil D. We got to take a picture. I got to send it to him. He gonna trip. He love you, boy. And he was a dope boy back in the 80s. And he brought that to me. He's like, check these dudes out. Grip it on the other level. Like, check these dudes out right here, the Ghetto Boys. And Willie D, he gave me a solo album. And I was listening to that shit. I was like, man, these niggas is hard, man. I had Choice. That was her name, right? Choice?
Yeah.
Choice. I had all that shit, man. And then I just started getting into Houston music. It went from y'all into the Terrorists and Gangsta Neb. And now I know all those guys, Point Blank, all those dudes. Yeah, man, I love Houston music, man. So
yeah, every time you come down, man, you have heavy fanfare, man. People like DJ Paul, people like 3-6 Mafia, man. And I appreciate you for stopping by.
Man, anytime, man, anytime. It's my pleasure, man.
My man, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Paul.
Papa, you.
No more talk.